How to crochet jasmine stitch. Jasmine stitch is a textured stitch made of multiple puff stitches to create a flower or star shape. In this video, we'll start with a row of single crochet, then work a couple of rows in puff stitch to create our jasmine stitch pattern. To start our first puff stitch, we'll elongate the loop on our hook. We'll now yarn over and insert the hook into the first stitch of the row. Draw a loop through and elongate to the height of the loop already on our hook. Repeat this a second time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch and draw a loop through. You'll now have 5 loops on your hook. This is the first petal of the jasmine flower. Rather than closing this puff stitch with a chain, we'll continue with the next puff stitch right away. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Draw a loop through and elongate to the height of the loops already on your hook. Yarn over once more. Insert your hook into the same stitch and draw a loop through. You'll now have 9 loops on your hook. We'll now close these 2 petals off. Yarn over and hold the strand just below the hook with your left hand. Then draw the yarn through all 9 loops on your hook. Make 1 chain to complete this stitch. To create the next petal, we'll elongate the loop on our hook again. Then yarn over and insert the hook into the just closed puff stitch. Draw a loop through and up to the height of the elongated loop on your hook. Yarn over, draw a loop through the same stitch and to the same height. You'll now have 5 loops on your hook. We won't close this petal off just yet. Yarn over again and insert into the same stitch we worked this petal into. Draw a loop through. Yarn over once more, insert into the same stitch and draw a loop through. This creates our second petal. You'll now have 9 loops on your hook. We want to create 1 more petal before closing this cluster of puff stitches. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch of the row. Draw a loop through and up to the height of the loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and insert the hook into the same stitch and draw a loop through. You'll now have 13 loops on your hook. And we're ready to close off these 3 petals. To do this, yarn over and hold the strand of yarn just below your hook. Then pull the hook through all 13 loops. Top tip: keep your hook face down when pulling through the loops. Now make 1 chain to close the stitch. You'll repeat creating clusters of 3 petals or puff clusters until you reach the end of the row. To start the next row, elongate the loop on your hook, then work one puff stitch. Once you have 5 loops on your hook, you'll yarn over, draw through all 5 loops, then close this stitch with a chain. Next, elongate the loop on your hook again. Yarn over and insert your hook into the top of the puff stitch we just completed. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over once more. Insert your hook into the same top of the last puff stitch made. Draw the yarn through. You'll now have 5 loops on your hook. We don't want to close this petal off just yet. Yarn over and insert your hook into the base of the first puff stitch of this row. Yarn over again, insert your hook into the same stitch and draw a loop through. You'll now have 9 loops on your hook. We'll create one more petal before closing this puff stitch cluster. Yarn over, insert the hook into the top of the next puff stitch of the row and draw a loop through. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same stitch and draw a loop through. You'll now have 13 loops on your hook. And we're ready to complete this cluster of petals or puff stitches. Yarn over and hold the strand just below your hook. Then draw the loop through all 13 loops on your hook. And complete this stitch with a chain. Continue to repeat these steps to create clusters of petals. In the second row, you'll see the jasmine flowers taking shape. And as you work with more rows, the individual puff stitches and clusters of puff stitches will create the jasmine stitch pattern.